George Billionaire Network.
Don't say that out loud. Thank you very much. Very brilliant afternoon to everybody. Afternoon, everybody. Wow, thank you so much for the honor. I want to thank those who have invited me to this amazing event, who always seem to ask me to come back because I did a brilliant job last time. So I want to thank you very much. I want to acknowledge all protocol by saying APO. Say APO. Yeah, when you say APO, all protocol observe, so you don't have to go through the biographies of everybody. I want to next time you get an opportunity to speak in front of people, just begin by saying that. The topic I'm going to talk about today is very simple. I think all of us know and can understand what conflict management is. It's a very simple thing. But before I do that, could I just have 5 volunteers? 5 volunteers. Okay, please come to the front, sir. Please come to the front. Madam, please come to the front. Timmy, I didn't call you. Please go back. Yes, sir. Madam, at the back. Okay, let's give them all a big round of applause. You know, in life, I always say your involvement is key to your destiny, right? Whenever you're asked to participate, contribute, it's important that you always are the first to lift up your hand. So today we're going to hear from each and every single person represented here. So do you mind just going there? She wants to start. We want one of the biggest parastators in the country to begin by speaking and sharing 1 or 2 things I'm going to ask. Now, you know, whenever we are asked to come to an amazing establishment like this, it's always important to go back having gotten some form of wisdom and knowledge about what we were learning. So we're going to hear, Madam, your name?
My name is Nondogo Zutube.
Okay, I'll remember Ndube because I cannot pronounce that very well. But I'm just going to ask you, this has been an amazing 2-3 days that you've been here. What are 2 major things that you can say really have impacted you and you're going to go back to your institution and going to impact in your organization? Thank you. Let's give a big round of applause as she gives some feedback.
Good afternoon, everyone. Right, the first one that I have learned is I think as an institution we should be big on communication. That's the first take home. As much as we are governed and we are given instruction, we can only say how high, but that we should really work together with our people out there to make sure that people are well educated about a lot of the issues. Then the second one that I learned, I think it was yesterday, that a motivated workforce or motivated employee, it directly translates to the level of customer experience or the experience that we offer to our customers. So those are the 2. Communication, customer experience, and then employee motivation, customer experience.
Wow, let's give a big round of applause. And of course, I can guarantee you, everybody in this place today is using this network, which is going to represent us now. Sir, could you tell us what are 2 things that you can say are take-homes from what you have learned over the couple of days?
Thank you very much. My name is Kulet Moses. And
ma'am, please come back before you sit down. Thank you.
And I'm not from Econet, but I respect the marketers of Econet. I'm from the National Social Security Authority. So I've learned 2 things. We are known, we will be known, we are employed for results. That is the first thing. The first thing that we should know wherever we are, we need to have results. That's why even when people get married today, in the next 9 months, people will be rich. So they expect that baby is
Thank you so much. Let's give him a big round of applause.
we need leadership commitment into the customer experience. Leadership commitment should be not be a boardroom experience, but leadership must come down and experience what the customer is feeling. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you go to the other side? Yes. Same question, madam.
Alright, thank you. My first take home was the fact that we should not fall into habits, especially after the keyboard thing that we did. That we type every day, we do those things every day, but we don't really put our minds onto those things. So that's my first take home, that we should not just fall into habit. You get into an organization, you just learn how they do things, and you just copy that. Then my second take home was from Dr. Lance, that once you are sending out a survey, we've already lost the ball. We do send a lot of surveys, quarterly, weekly, after every interaction, after every call, but we're not going back to the grassroots. We're not really looking at what the person, what the customer needs, but we're just sending surveys, and we get the same feedback after every survey. We know what the customer would. So I always say, member, what the member is not happy about, but we still send the survey, and they tell us what's wrong. We send another survey for them to tell us what's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Give a big round of applause to her. Briefly and to the point, sir.
Okay, thank you. So for me, I learned two things. Number one, around systems, standards, and results. And the second thing is probably from the latest presentation around our culture or leadership role in the CX culture, where we need to ensure that our products, our services are remarkable. That will then scratch out the need for continuous need for complaints management, continuous need to do A, B, and C, just to resolve things that have not worked, because we have not created that culture where we have remarkable products and services.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, and thank you. My key takeaways from the sessions that I've attended, the main one is a deliberate culture. This was from the first session yesterday, where we have a culture that is with people, that when those people leave, we can't live up to it. So I'll say consistency is key. We should be able to deliberately cultivate a safe culture in our organization and be able to maintain or to have consistency with those cultures. The second thing that I would like to say I would pioneer back home is on employee experience. EX is equally important, and that is our starting point. As the speaker said, it starts from the house, it starts from the family. Charity begins at home. So if we're able to take care of ourselves, take care of our teams, motivate our teams, it will later translate into superior customer experiences around Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Now, you know, I did say that your response determines your destiny, right? So because they lifted their hands to come to the front, they are not going to go back the same. I'm going to ensure that they get some money into their hands because they lifted their hands and they came to the front to contribute. Now, how many of you like to contribute? Okay, maybe seeing is believing. Let's get some money into their hands. Here you go, sir.
Yeah.
Here you go. There you go. Let's give them a big round of applause as they take their seats. Right now, you know, I'm one person who is big on response. I know now if I say, can somebody come to the front, I know people are going to run to the front. Because definitely you will not go back the same. Now, it's amazing to be in this amazing place, like I've said, and I've just reiterated. And I just believe that as much as we are learning things for corporate culture where we are working, it's also an amazing tool and ingredient for you personally. The most important thing in life is that we live and we learn, correct? And you are at the organization you are today, but you're going to be somewhere else tomorrow. So these are life skills and life lessons, just not for your organization, but also for life. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm sure some of you know me. I go by the name George Billionaire Monengwa. It's a self-fulfillment prophecy that I gave to myself many years ago. And the many lessons that I've learned in entrepreneurship and business, especially pertaining customer care, has helped Pro Air become one of the top leading air conditioning companies in the country. I can tell you this, customers are king. We all know that. If our customers are happy, our bank balance is also going to be very happy. Our bosses are going to be very happy with us as well. But if our customers are not happy, I can guarantee you, the people who represent the organization, are not going to have a very good board meeting, profits, and growth in your organization. Now, some of the things that we have done at Pro Air that has helped us, and I love the quote by Bill Gates, and I want you to write this down. We learn our greatest lessons from our most unhappy customers. We learn our greatest lessons from our most unhappiest customers. Now, I can tell you, I remember in 2012 when we started, and I was a one-man band, and we were putting air cons. The very first days, it was just me and a friend who I called the technician because he had a little know-how, and we used to install air cons, but it wasn't done as good as we do now. But some of the feedback I got from customers was the things that helped us to become where we are today. Because they'll tell us, George, you're not on time. George, we're not happy with this. And what I did that changed the perception of Pro Air was to listen. Say listen. Listen. Now, when you listen to your customers, you are actually different from other organizations which actually think they don't need to listen. They think they're doing things right. But if the quote that you wrote, it explains to you what most successful organizations have done. I love the presentation Dr. Lance put, and I know we are all proud of our national airline, and I wish our national airline could take heed of some of these things that we give them as feedback. But can you tell why they have remained dormant and have not grown? Simply because they have not listened to what people say. Because if your flight is going to be delayed, if things are going to change, if a phone call comes in and now that carrier has to go somewhere else, that's lack of professionalism. There's no way that company is going to grow because people are going to move back from it and not going to get a ticket from that airline. And so is it true with your organization. I remember way back then, how many of you used to have a phone in the early 2000s? Wow, Generation E, Generation X, and? Yeah, okay. The phones we used to use back in the day, how many of you know Nokia? Right? We all had Nokia. We were so proud of Nokia. We loved those buttons. We loved that ringtone. We loved that snake, everybody. There were so many things incorporated in that phone that you would love it. It screen red green, then it went orange, then it had a color screen, and then, wow, it had everything. But do you know what happened to Nokia? Do you know what happened to Nokia? Which happens with most organizations? They got to a top. They got to the top floor. They didn't care about the #1 mobile selling company in the world. They were so comfortable in their boat. I love this quote, Hans, the greatest time, the best time to kill a crocodile. How many, who knows? The best time to kill a crocodile. And I can give you some money. The best time to kill a crocodile, Timmy, thank you, not now. The best time to kill a crocodile. Anybody? No, it's not never. The best time to kill a crocodile. Yes.
When it's after it is eaten.
Let's give him a big round of applause. Please come to the front, sir. I am on the best time to kill a crocodile. Thank you, sir. Sure. The best time to kill a crocodile is after it has eaten and it is full. As an organization, you've reached the climax of success. Nobody can tell you anything. It is relaxed because yakaguta haina anything to do. And most of you with your organizations, you are at that place where you are on top of the clouds. Nobody and anybody can tell you anything pertaining how to grow the business. Even client forms. All this feedback is now not necessary anymore. Why? Because you've reached there. And what happened to this amazing company we all know now? What number are they in regards to selling cell phones? When everybody went left, what did they decide to do? We're going to remain using that QWERTY keyboard. Is anybody still now using the QWERTY keyboard? Nobody, right? And what did that happen? It caused them to fall from a pedestal of becoming number one, of having number one status for many years, and now to becoming absolutely not recognized in the top 15 brands in the world. How many of you, back in the day, I remember when visitors used to come to Glenora, my mom would say, George, manya ku Glenora Park unotora cameraman, right? And makatorwa picture, yaifana kuzoenda yonobikwa in a room which is dark, and then the photographs will come out after a week or two. How many of you remember a company called Kodak? Aiwa Kodak tese toiziva. Waitotenga ka film, you'd buy a camera and you'd buy a 24 film, 36, all of this. And those were all companies once upon a time were at the top, like all of you are represented in here today. You are at the top. I believe every company who is here is top in their industry, and this appeals to you because you are there. There's nothing, growth, customer, relation management, you've got it all. But they forgot to actually say, wait a minute, there's another company. In fact, imagine internal intelligence had somebody who actually said, Mr. CEO, sir, we are seeing that this waiting 2 weeks to print a picture after it's taken, it's taking time. And if accidentally somebody opens the door and there's light that comes in, the whole effort of the picture taken is gone. There's no duplication, it's gone. That memory is gone. So why don't we, Mr. CEO, sir, have this technology which prints the picture instantly? This is somebody internal, right? And there's so many people inside your organization who can come up with a bright idea, but because you are MD, you are manager, because they are lower level management telling you this idea, you rub it off. And what happens? That amazing idea was then taken by another big company, Sony. And they went, did what they did. And now guess what? That company, because of the head, which was rock solid meaning no Intel could come in because they thought they knew everything, caused that company to plummet down and now being non-existent in an industry that they were number one at one point in time. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I saying to you, especially regarding the organizations you represent? It is important, it is so important to be able to take heed of our customers, our internal staff, because there's certain things you can gain from internal individuals in the organization which can drastically change the way the organization is going. I remember once upon a time in 2015, our security guard at Pro Air came up to me and said, sir, the way you are managing stock, I know you just got a container come in, but I would think it's important for you to have a stock management system which is like this, that, and the other. Because before I became a security guard, I used to manage stock. And had I not listened to that amazing input from somebody, listen, tell your neighbor, listen. Had I not listened and brushed it off, could I ask security guard, please, my stock management would probably not be how it is today. But when people look at me, I look like, wow, you've got great stock management skills. Wow, the way you run your organization. Ultimately, his input, because I listened and I applied, it managed our stock levels and it avoided so much stock going missing, duplicate, all of these things. Why? Because I listened. Now, the only way to manage conflict, is this abbreviation. I want you to write this down. Write down the word last, one after the other, L-A-S-T, last. In order for conflict management to be done, number one, you must listen. In all organizations, I can tell you this, whenever there's conflict, whenever there's misunderstandings, whenever there's disagreements, you as the people who manage the customers, you as an individual who you run your own business, you must be able to listen. When a customer comes and says, Mr. Mnengo, we're not happy. You said you're going to install an aircon on Monday, and now it's Wednesday. Why is it not done? And you know what happens with customers? They do give you a window period. But if you listen and you do something about it, they will give you an opportunity to rectify your issue. Number two, you must apologize. A customer is not happy. Yes, when a customer is talking now, I know some of you, and I know for married men in here, they will attest to this, because at home, sometime when you want to present your case before the Minister of Home Affairs, very rarely can you finish your point before you get interjected, right? But that's at home. It's different from business. At home, it's something else. But once you listen to what a customer is saying, tell your inner man and woman to be quiet and to let them air out. Let them air out after they're finished. Secondly, you must apologize. I'm sincerely sorry about the way you were treated, and this is totally unacceptable. We're certainly going to take this matter and deal with it, but in the meantime, please accept our apology and we're going to rectify this. We're actually sending a team now to actually go and rectify your air conditioning unit, and things will be sorted. I will call you day end to ensure that this has been done and you are happy. When you do that, a customer then feels appreciated, right? Which is the third point, solve, right? You solve, you've heard their complaint, you've listened, right? You've apologized and you solve immediately. You go on, you send somebody to rectify the issue at hand. And last but not least, the team. You know, all said and done said, thank you for allowing us to go and fix this issue. We want to just thank you for your continued support. You know, without you, as Pro-Air, as whatever organization you are dealing with, we wouldn't be here. So thank you so much for your feedback, because we didn't know that people were not going to attend to these things. So your call has actually helped us to become a better person. That customer will feel like they've contributed to your success. That customer will feel like, wow. And you as an organization, this is something that you must now register, say, oh, we're delaying to go to certain things to do. What does this ultimately do? It improves the way your organization functions. Last, it's important. Now, how many of you know that there are a lot of unhappy customers out there? Yeah? A lot of unhappy customers. And do you know what reach one unhappy customer has? Anybody? Remember, if you lift your hand and you put the correct amount, you walk back with something. What number of people does an unhappy customer reach out to? Number. Yes, ma'am?
5. An average of 5.
Okay. At the back? 10.
So, average of
9 to 15.
96%.
96. Sorry? Yes, ma'am?
According to Jeff Bezos, it's 6,000.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the madam at the back, 9 to 15, please come to the front. Let's give her a big round of applause as she comes. So the actual number of people that word of mouth will reach is 15 to 20 people. So imagine one person who is unhappy and who you have not done this last process that we've done. They will potentially reach 15 to 20 people, right? Let's give her a big round of applause as she goes back. 15 to 20 people. Now, can you imagine what 15 to 20 people in terms of your brand and what that's going to do? Just because you failed to manage conflict. I remember once at one of the top, I was about to say the name, food outlets, right? I bought a Chelsea bun, and in the middle of the bun, I was chewing and I met some little steel item in the bun I was eating. And I said, what's this? Immediately, they took me outside. They called the manager. They said, we're very sorry. We don't know how this got in here. Say, what can we do for you? 30 minutes, the regional manager was there. Hi, Mr. Mnengo, we're very sorry. Listen, they brought out a booklet of vouchers, right? Then he said, listen, we're very sorry. This usually does not happen. Here's a booklet. Please, any of these institutions you may want to have some food, please. Why were they doing this? Because they knew the moment I left there and I had footage and evidence of this, just one post, just one person I tell, it will become an effect that nobody will come and buy that bun again. So they managed it quickly. The manager in the shop called the regional manager who came. They poured enough water to cool down this fire immediately. But I had a booklet of vouchers where I could eat at various, and I remember I took my girlfriend at the time. She of course did not know how it happened, but I had booklet. Today we're there. But that $1 investment, because I was managed well and they understood conflict management, taking care of a person who potentially, and you never know who somebody is. The boss can send the gardener for a transaction at your institution. And then because Akafeka overalls, you would rather serve Dr. Lance first because you know Dr. Lance. But you don't know somebody was sent by the big man to go and do this. And the way they're going to represent, I went into that institution. There were so many people who went in front of me. I was served late. They actually told me we're closed. But I went there before they closed. Then they told me to come back tomorrow. And then now your organization is receiving a call about you not managing somebody. And when you see that person, you'll be like, there's nobody who you should ever undermine who is called a client. There's nobody who gets preferential treatment. But the most important thing is how to manage people. And if you fail to do this, I can tell you this, the examples, I loved Dr. Lance's examples, all those, you don't need anybody to convince you on any of the products mentioned. You don't need anybody at all to convince you. But for you and the organizations you represent, you could also become like them because you fail to listen. You fail to manage conflict. There's no company in here which has not had a customer raise their voice right at the reception. Wisdom will tell you, go and get a top manager, take them into the office, offer them some water, because right? He's fuming, he's upset. Say, please, just take a seat. Please, do you mind? Let him air out, but out of the light of people, just like I was done. You don't manage conflict in the area that it was created because you get unnecessary attention. Imagine it, I said, hey, this ban, how can you, such an organization? How many people are listening to me? Then now somebody else who was in the queue adopting a ban, I say, why was I speaking in my ban? I was saying some reason. Why was I speaking? That would be it. Now, and that's the same way information about your organization will go out if it's not managed. As we go back to our organizations, ladies and gentlemen, conflict management is a key pillar and a key bone in ensuring that you get what every organization wants, which is return customers, which are sneezers. Do you know what a sneezer is? If I have flu and I sneeze in here, do you know that because we are in a closed room, potentially you guys will also catch on to that. But when you do a good thing, and I love our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, which I think is the best marketer of all time, Jesus would perform a miracle. And you know what he would do? Do you know what deliberately he'll say to the person he performed the miracle? Please, don't go and tell anybody about this that I did. Do you think you, after somebody doing something good to you, can keep it to yourself? And those days, there was no social media. This is why it's important. We may have the biggest billboards, the best adverts, but word of mouth is still the number one strongest form of marketing that an organization can have. But what more better when it's coming from a happy customer who speaks about you? How many people in here use iPhone? How many people here use Samsung? I can guarantee you now, if I make a Samsung person stand here and an iPhone person stand here, panita fight yakaipa. No, this one is better. Mine can zoom. No, this camera. No, this video. Now, none of you got anything in the form of finance for you to push their brand. Nothing. But you know the functions, you know the megapixels, you know the zooming capacity, you know the this, you know everything. Imagine clients vouching for your business, your company in that manner. Ah, no, no, we don't do that. We are like this, that. And they're not even a part of your organization. And that's ultimately what we want from our happy customers. We must, ladies and gentlemen, create such an image to the organizations we represent through our customers that we serve. You know, one thing that we do at ProAir, which has caused for us to have a high retention in our customers, and everybody loves this. It doesn't even cost much. This is a very free idea for all of you. Imagine when a customer does something of standard, of high value. We created what is called a certificate of appreciation. Right? It is a paper and a picture frame, right? With the CEO's signature. And it's framed. It costs you $10 at most. It's presented in a gift bag, given to that client. Do you know where they're going to put that certificate of appreciation? Right by their reception. Right? We did this to many of our customers. And do you know what this did for us? Everywhere people would go, they'd be like, wow, oh, ProAir is thanking you, because they wouldn't be where they are today without you. And that one small little gesture, which is what every customer wants. Every customer wants to be appreciated, whether it's $1, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. They want something just to show affiliation to you. It could be a diary, it could be a t-shirt, it could be a cap, it's something. That then causes, when people are spiting your organization, because they have received something personal from you, it will cause them to also become your guard, your defense. Simple thing. But all of that is done to ensure that your brands grow. Ladies and gentlemen, conflict management is real, but there are so many ways to diffuse it. And it's important to do not, again, and it may not be you who was involved in the conflict, but because you have wisdom and you are able to tell, we need to burn this, pour some water on this to cool it down quickly. Wisdom. Remember, a conflict is not solved in the environment it was created. Quickly, it would be your workmate. We all know good cop and bad cop in movies, right? The good cop is always the one that you feel more open to speak to, right? And I know we've got many bad cops, not bad people, but there are many people who want to defend their position. No, I sent the email, but maybe it didn't go. But you should be good cop in your organization to maintain the brand image that your organization has created. Manage it. Cool it down early before it blows up. And once it gets to top management, the damage is already done. You see it flighted in papers. And these days, social media is one. One post can change the perception of your whole organization because one person was not treated correctly. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for this opportunity. Again, I want to thank the amazing presenters who presented. And I was here last night. I witnessed the war cries. I witnessed, so many people having so much fun. And I don't know about you, but these amazing opportunities which are being bestowed before you, you should never forget the principles you are learning here. I know many of you, how many of you run your own businesses besides working? Right? Right, and I encourage people, this is me, I'm on Capitalk every Monday. I love to teach entrepreneurship and just increasing your streams of income. These things that you're learning here are things that you also need to implement when you start your own side hustles. Because, in life it's simple. You get a job, right? After you get a job, chicha kubudandit, and we do not want, it sounds funny, yes, but it's the truth. And once we're Buddha, you also want to maintain a certain lifestyle. And for most of us with our jobs, if we're to leave employment today, I can guarantee you some will not last 5 months. And we'll be using our CV again to try and hunt for more. But it's important, ladies and gentlemen, as we interact, I always say this, and I appreciate Dr. Lance. He always used to say, George, it's very difficult for me to introduce you without something of substance you do. And, I was motivated. I started Pro Air. Dr. Rhinos Mauta, this could be our team. He's my good friend. He's at CXAZ. But other than that, there's nothing directly that I can support Timmy with besides him at his organization. So it's important as you associate and mingle, also have something. Start small. It could be chickens. It could be tomatoes. At least, this is my sister. She sells tomatoes. If I introduce you to all the restaurant owners I know, you're getting a different stream of income. But if it's just your job that you have, it time chete and it will famba. Very soon you're gonna become of age. There's very youthful, younger, cheaper people coming up who know how to use AI better than you, who are more efficient. So it's important, as we always meet and mingle, let us also make use of our relationships in business, outside, of course, the business we do. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.